Hello, hello. Here for a semifinals
Hello,
match.
everyone.
Got with me a brand new caster. Doesn't play Blood Bowl. It's my brother, Small Gronk.
Hello, everybody. I am the inexperienced with all of the confidence of a grandmaster. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Knows everything about this game.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
we have some Chaos Dwarves versus some Pro Elves. Gonna take a look at the Chaos Dwarves first. 2050 TV. Pretty expensive team. We got some. We got a very developed Chaos Dwarf team. Got 4 players almost at max level.
I see a lot of symbols. I'm going to assume they're very good.
Yes.
Oh, you know,
We've got a Frenzy Bull Centaur, and we've got a Tackle Bull Centaur with Juggernaut, Mighty Blow, good blitzing units. Only 1 Claw to worry about, but Claw doesn't do anything against Pro Elves, so it's actually unfortunate for the Pro Elves. If this team had more Claws, you'd be less worried. Yeah, I was just saying. My brain farted and I was realizing that. Yeah. Agility 4 Hobgoblin. Oh, this is the pass block Hobgoblin. I'm so excited for this one. Pass block is a skill that I'm sure everyone is just as familiar with as my boy Gronk here is.
Absolutely. Yep. You know, it's really vital to any comp like this. You know, you just can't do anything if you don't have it.
2 dirty players, roster 13, 9 fan factor. Solid team, solid Chorfs. They do Chorf things. Now we're gonna go.
Say, I love the term Chorf.
You love it so much. You were like, is that the coach name or what? What is that? If pass block makes a difference, I'm gonna quote you.
God, I hope it does now.
All right, and then we have Disco Dan's do Rebbl. Toast. He's my personal who I'm cheering for, but I'll try to be unbiased in the commentary. We have no Mighty Blow, 2 guard, bunch of armor 7s. The other sidestep blitzer is out. This is a big piece to be missing. Most of this dodge on the team's gonna mean nothing with all the tackle. We have about 400k in inducements for the Pro Elves. I think we're going to end up seeing a wizard, maybe an Apo, maybe a star player. All I know for sure is the Pro Elves are probably going to have a wizard. That's all I can really commit to.
Now, for those of us who are much less informed than me, why don't you inform them what having a wizard actually does for the team?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, you see, Gronk, a wizard allows you to either lightning bolt or fireball the enemy team. A lightning bolt, 5 times out of 6, knocks a player down and makes them do an armor and injury roll. Good luck, Toast. So lightning bolt's really good. You get the ball down, and for elves, where they're good at retrieving the ball, getting the ball on the ground is where they want it. If they use a fireball, it's a 50% chance to knock anyone down in a 3x3. Another way of opening up the ball for retrieval and scoring is elves.
Good. I'm glad you're well informed on the situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to cast with somebody who wasn't as experienced as I am.
Oh yeah, we might see 2 wizards. I don't know who is The home team? I believe it's the Chorfs. I don't know. Let's see what stadium they have real quick. Yeah, so Sandwich Kiosk. Yeah, okay. But they're in inducements. It'll just be another minute. We'll go to the clicky phase, and for the first time on this channel, we're gonna set up a prediction. Yeah, I just didn't want to go to the schedule. I didn't want to show past results. I'm not sure if those are past the spoiler stage or not. Okay, but they're in match. Let's hop on in.
Now, since we're talking about a prediction, I'd just like to make my own educated opinion be known. Obviously, one of the teams is dwarves, and while my girlfriend reassures me that size doesn't matter, I think in this case it might play a role.
All right. Do we want a whole game prediction, or do we want something spicier?
Why don't we do like the first half? And like for the lead.
Ooh, like it's a good one.
Or we could do something like units taken out or something along those lines. Ah, yes. I like it.
There we go. And we'll put that at say 5 minutes. There we go. I love blowing wizards. Good call. Let's see. The Pro Elves have won the fame, giving them advantages. No, wait. Equal fame. Doesn't do anything. We have a wizard. And we have Eldril. So that should be Wizard, Eldril, and Babe. Eldril is the star player. He's got movement 8, strength 3, edgy 4, dodge, catch, pass block. Both teams have a pass block piece. Oh, it's a legendary matchup.
I can tell he's the star player because fortunately he has a star underneath of him.
Yes, very good. And he's actually got Hypnogaze, which Hypnogaze is something that's normally only available to the vampire team, but a couple star players have it as well. Like you stand next to an enemy player and you can like put them in a trance and they don't give a tackle zone or anything until they're activated again.
I'm aware of that. Now, can you explain for those of us who don't know, what exactly is a star player?
Of course. For the novices that might be in the chat. Star players you can use with petty cash that you get from having a different team value than your opponent. Star players are a temporary unit, and they are usually pretty good.
Well, of course. I'm glad you were able to explain it so well. Here comes the kick.
Perfect defense. So the Prelfs will get to set up in another legal defense. The Chaos Dwarves are going to attempt to do an 8-turn grind here, most likely, trying to get a lot of removals. Use their piling on to get more injuries. Sidestep on the sidelines to prevent getting surfed. Because there's a frenzy piece. I like it. Yes, Luke, you are correct. You don't have to be down TV in order to buy a star player. But I want to hit it one more time, but like also I can't tell Pro Elves apart. But just for you, Tasteless, I'll do so.
Also, Brandon, I'm really disappointed in your lack of knowledge there. That was you're really misguiding our less experienced viewers here.
Oh yeah, my bad. First action pickup, it's a success. No snake eyes. From here, we're just gonna see double mighty blow hits. I'm pretty sure. Don't want to leave gaps in your Chorf wall.
That would be a rookie mistake.
Oh yeah, of course. Now, I believe I've seen Toast play against dwarves in this playoff already. Poikuzi. Chaos Dwarves are pretty consistent and just hard to break down at higher TVs. Mutation access on any team is really strong. And dwarves in general are TV efficient and hard to get rid of.
Assuming TV is your currency.
Team value.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
So it's like a measure of how much your players are worth and the additive value from their skills as well. And like the cost of your rerolls.
And that's what gets you the handicaps if yours is lower, right?
Yes, exactly. Piling on coming in, does not get a removal. It's good for the Pro Elves. From here on, the Pro Elves are going to attempt to disengage, only give one blitz a turn, hope not to get too many removals in the first half.
Well, I've been promised two things with this game: blood and bowl. Where's my bowl? We're halfway there, guys. So wait, are those like minotaurs?
Those are centaurs.
Centaurs, yeah, so that's what I meant. I had the wrong term. Huh. But they're like dwarf centaurs.
All right. The prediction is 10 points versus 210. It's better than I could have hoped for.
Beautiful. Wrong hoofed creature, yes.
Pretty fortunate for the Pro Elves. Still have 11 players on the pitch. Eldril is actually able to open up a hole into the Chaos Dwarves line pretty easily, as long as he doesn't fail the Hypnogates. Yeah, it's yes, I'm aware. Everybody has 0 chamber coins as of this moment. Therefore, the prediction is not very good. Don't worry. Stick around, and you will get your chamber coins. Also, I hope the picture doesn't look bad. It's a lot smaller than I was expecting.
What, for the chamber coins?
What? Oh, I did not even recognize that a lineman got removed.
Hey, speaking of predictions, where do you actually do those? Like, as a viewer? I have not...
with the chat open, there will be a little thing in the bottom left. Opposite from the chat button. Ah, yeah, that'll explain it. I was not paying attention. I was playing with the predictions, which I just unlocked. Blame the caster. Um,
How
I
many
think
chamber coins to trade for a chamber pot?
what's the
I love
exchange
it.
rate between Dwight Bucks
Also,
and Stanley?
I
Knight?
would just like to say I have 300 chamber coins, guys. If you have 0, it's your own fault.
You know, really, it's your fault for following me before I had before I had them. Oh. Now, as the Prelfs here, you're really just trying to prevent the Hobgoblin from getting into a solid cage. But if they do get into a cage, you want them to be in a far back cage. That way they have a lot of space to cover. Wait, that gave you 740 points? That's... Wait a minute. That's cheating. Oh. So, Practical Snow just gave me 1 penny, John, to get 350 chamber points.
I mean, that sounds like some value right there.
Oh no!
Oh, is that the exchanger? Hold on. I don't know how to cheer. How do I do this? As you can see, I'm very well acquainted with the Twitch setup.
Now,
wait, can I only do? I don't know.
I think as the actually, I'm gonna switch to Chorf point of view. I want to be on offense. The Chorfs can make a full cage, devoting 4 players to it. That does get awkward with Eldril existing, though. This
I'm
is a
assuming
little
the cage
better.
is on each corner of the ball carrier.
Yeah, making like the 5 side of a dice.
I don't know what dice you're using, but yeah.
No, it's got the 5 ticks.
You said 5 sides.
The 5 side.
Oh, 5 side. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay, attrition game coming in. Yeah, I wouldn't have epied that either. That's rough having the double go to waste, but he was only level 2, and you have a lot of things that are gonna get punched yet.
What was the injury there?
That was a movement down. So he's going to miss the next game that the pros play, and he's going to have a movement down for the rest of his life.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, this ball is not safe. It is actually diveable. Eldril comes and hypnogazes this corner right here, and we could see a blitz. It would not be the best blitz, I think that's that'd be a red die blitz. I'm not sure if you could do much better. Don't need to dive. Am I missing something? Oh wait, Eldril can come and hypnogaze this hobbo. This Wilson. I'm not used to this high of TV, so I'm actually just missing what we're talking about. I'm focused so much on the star player. I want that to be the play. Or just delay. But it's gonna be turn 3 for the Chaos Dwarves, and they already have the ball near to the line of scrimmage. You have to figure out some really inventive ways to slow them down for 6 more turns. That's not just elf screening. Practical Snow, if you keep that up, I'll be able to... I'll pretty soon I'll be able to buy a gumball from the candy machine.
I've just doubled down on him.
This is an interesting time to consider throwing the fireball. I don't think it's the best fireball. I think that it gives up the wizard pressure for the rest of the game. But the chaos dwarves positioning is a little greedy against the wizard. And the dwarfs are going to look to claim the middle, I believe. You generally only want to go down the sideline when you're forced to, and generally also when you're down players, when you're closer to the end zone. And as a very heavy bash team, these Chaos Dwarves are just going to try to assert themselves.
Now, for the wizard, when they use their fireball, I'm assuming that takes the place of their attack for the turn? Like as an activated ability?
No, it does. It's not a player that uses that. It's
that's like one of the card things.
You have to use it before your turn, or at the end of your turn. So if you use it before your turn, everything's fine. But if you use it after activating any player, it'll end your turn.
Gotcha.
In the actual tabletop, you're able to use the wizard in between some things that are not accounted for in the video game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're able to, in the tabletop, you're able to use the wizard before the opposing team receives, but I'm not sure on that.
Gotcha.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. It being abused for trolling.
Oh, so I'm assuming they would let it time out every time it gave it the option?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Because that's something that happens even now in Blood Bowl 2, is people just AFK and make it go to full time. I understand it from an preventing that sort of thing. I think that's a good choice. Chorfs are able to just come up here and stick around for the entire half if they want to.
And I'm assuming that's to not give the opposing team a chance to have their own ball?
Yes. The only thing that will give the Pro Elves is one turn to get a one-turn touchdown, which they can with asterisks and depending on kickoff events.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we might also just see the fireball right here to hit 5 players in the 3x3. Any one of these players goes down and you have a chance at the ball. Multiple players go down and you have probably an easy score. But this might be an intentional bait of the wizard, so you don't have to worry about it the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't see the wizard. We see the Hypno Gaze. Blitz is probably going to be with the wrestle onto.
Now, when it comes to the wizard, do you get full control over where it goes, or is it similar to the
Yes, you have full control.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a variant.
Oh, yeah, I just completely disregarded the guard. Good catch.
Guard being?
Guard, you give an assist on an enemy player, regardless of if you're marked or not. How you doing, Kyle Geary? Yeah, I like this play a lot, but depending on where the ball ends up, it can be really annoying. Okay, mark the other 2 parts of the cage. It should be 1, 2. Oh! Keeping the Agi 5 available to go and pick up the ball. Get the POW. Don't need wrestle. Oh no! So what happened there, Gronk, is that one of the players that's already been activated just had magnet hands and caught the ball while standing next to an opposing player. And because they're already activated, you can't really defend that ball very well.
Yes,
so
of course.
The elves are going to be brought into a scrum. That's really bad. It was almost good. Like, the best case scenario is the ball bounces, doesn't get caught, bounces out, and the agility 5 piece picks it up, hands it off, and we run in and do a couple turnstile. Ball in hand is definitely better than ball on ground, though. Because ball in hand might stay in your hand. Ball on ground can get taken away. Oh, I agree, Practical Snow. I was thinking about it more from this unit is going to get punched in 8 milliseconds.
Ball will be on the ground. Yeah, you have a good point.
I think there's a very low chance this ball is not on the ground. But if it's not on the ground, there is a lot of potential that the Chaos Dwarves will just have a ridiculously hard time dealing with it. Piling on. It's removal. Removal. This bounce can be really bad. Oh, that's really bad for the Chaos Dwarves. Really good for the elves.
That's basically the place the elves wanted it to begin with.
This is where we wanted it to be during the Pro Elves turn, if you're a Pro Elf fan.
Yeah.
But now, we still have the Blitz. We still have another piling on piece. You can plop in some guard, hit Eldril. Or you can just blitz your the catcher onto the ball, like Luke is saying. That's another good idea. Probably the Frenzy piece does the blitz. Because Juggernaut negates Wrestle. No, wait. Does it? Yeah, it does. It prevents Wrestle. I always get some of Wrestle and Grab confused. And with the Blitz, you can even bring the assist in on Eldril. We still have a standing hit. Now, bring one more assist from somewhere. Bring up, either plop in a guard or take the 1 die even. I don't think Eldril has a block skill. Fortunately, Pro Elves have the hidden advantage of they only need 2 elves to score. What are you saying, Gronk?
What exactly does block do?
Block turns a both down result on a block dice into just knocking down the opponent, whether you're on offense or defense.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
It's probably the best skill in the game. Yeah, I agree. I think that piling on was a little greedy. I think that there's just a lot of ways for elves to do elvy things with that. But then again, if you kill all the elves, you don't have to play Bubble.
So how does piling on work exactly? Does it give you a chance to injure them, or?
Piling on allows you to reroll the armor or the injury roll, which is the 2d6 dice roll you take to see if you cause injuries to the opponent.
Do they have a chance to hurt yourself then? Or what's the downside to it?
Just no mighty blow injury. It's rough. But basically, when you roll a block, you roll 2d6 to see if it breaks armor. And then if that succeeds, you roll 2d6 to see what injury they get. Piling on,
Right.
if you succeeded on armor, it rerolls the injury. If you didn't succeed on armor, it rerolls the armor, and then you do the injury.
I gotcha.
Oh! Lightning bolt. KO. That's still a better spot. Well said, Kawagiri. That's a much better description. Pass block has sat there and looked very pretty on both the players that are currently not able to use it. But the wizard is gone. We do have a prediction winner.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense for block. I got you now.
Ugh. Prediction 2. Would there be elves at halftime? I think we're down to 7 elves on the pitch. 5 elves on the pitch? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 elves on the pitch. That's rough.
And how many of those will be coming back at halftime?
Well, 3 more will come in, so it'll be at least 8 at this current moment.
Okay.
And then there's 2 KOs, which have to roll a 3 on a dice roll because there's a babe.
Gotcha.
And if they roll a 3 or higher, they come back in, but otherwise they stay out for another drive. And then you have to roll again.
I gotcha.
This is a very hard spot to be. Down to 5 players, but you have the ball. But this is generally what happens in high TV elves versus bash. Removals make it hard on the elves. They have low armor already.
Lodge. Man, I love some of the terms in this community.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? I think my favorite is wrestle and tackle is rackle.
Nice. I don't know. Chorf is pretty good.
Another one is the current ball carrier has block, dodge, and sidestep, and that's colloquially bludgestep. Then there's the one that nobody likes playing against, which is claw palm, which is claw, mighty blow, and piling on. Which
Lodge step sounds like somebody who's dancing but is really bad at it.
How was dancing last night? It was terrible. I'm a lodge stepper. Practical Snow's got a great point. Prelf and Chorf are both great. So are all the elves, because you have what elves? The Welfs. The Pro Elves, the Prelfs. The High Elves, the Helfs. Or the aptly named Flings, which are half flings, and they get thrown.
Are there dark elves?
Yes, the Delphs.
The Delphs, not to be confused with Dilfs.
Alright, the Chaos Dwarves have determined what sort of murder they want to do. Double pal.
So Frenzy, I'm assuming is you attack twice, but you have to attack twice, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, with Frenzy, you're actually able to do what's called a Frenzy Trap, which is where you have a player connected to the piece that you think is going to get hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Frenzy is forced to take a second hit, it can take a disadvantaged block. But if your player goes down in the first hit, it doesn't matter. This ball is going to get marked like crazy. But catcher does have Nerves of Steel. So this ball should be pretty safe to get out of here. But I'm not sure... At this point, I'm not sure if the Prelfs can score, but they still might be able to prevent one.
Elves, that's good.
Those are also known as orcs.
Now, when you're saying you're marking somebody, I'm assuming that's placing another unit right on next to them?
Yes, that's marking, that's basing. There's a couple other terms for it. Gotcha. Now, generally,
and that
when
gives you like negative modifiers and stuff, correct?
Yes. So, like, if you're stronger than the enemy and you choose to base, that can force them to take dodges or to take bad blocks in order to free up their player.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, it causes them to roll dice, but it can get your player hurt, because if you mark while you don't have strength advantage, you're giving up free blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I almost think you just take the sidestepper, go on the sideline, hope the ball actually, I don't know. I am not as good at elves as Toast is. I know I saw him play his last Challenger Cup game, did absolutely phenomenal, and managed to find a blitz by walking 9 tiles instead of 8, and that was just blew my mind.
Brandon, maybe if you get as experienced with the game as I am, you'll have a lot of your time with the elves.
I am a little confused by this. Because now there's 2 blocks on the ball. Taking dodges away from tackle. Still have 3 rerolls though, so I think that's fine. I don't know. I just know that this match specifically is so far above my mental capacity. So many skills, and like I don't actually know the end game that the Pro Elves want. Because I don't think they're committed to scoring this half. I think they don't have enough players, and they're too slow to do so. If the Chaos Dwarves were down a couple more players, maybe. But the Bull Centaurs can chase down anyone, basically anywhere on the pitch.
Right, I'm assuming those are high mobility.
Yes, they have 6 movement and up to 3 extra squares called GFIs, which are go for it's.
Right.
But this is actually a very interesting stall, because the pros, if you manage to prevent a score on the opponent's offensive drive, you're already ahead of the curve.
Okay.
You know what? Let's do another prediction. Will the Chorf score?
This half, I'm assuming, Brandon?
Yeah, this half. This drive, actually.
I'm not going to lie. I read a skater's name as Lord Strakoff for a second. I was very confused.
Oh,
I pulled a Russian cucumber right there.
Well, for reference, our good friend Ben, his username is Lord Strakoff. So the fact that your name looks similar at a glance, pretty perplexing.
It was just close enough.
Now, before you take any blocks here, I would definitely Ah, wow. Actually, I think there is a chance that the Prelf score here. If the Chorfs make bad decisions and don't adequately respect Dante, the lineman, with block and kick.
Well, but I've cast my vote, so we'll see how this goes.
That's 6 removals. Got 3 guaranteed spares. No wizard. The second half is going to be very difficult for the elves.
Now, just to clarify, were you saying the elves could score or the dwarves could?
On what? The prediction or in my...
Just now. You just said something about not respecting the lineman or somebody.
If the Chorfs didn't respect this lineman, there was a chance that the elves could find a breakaway. If you just roll 6s, you can still do that, but it's much harder.
I gotcha.
And Luke is correct. The amount of removals makes this very hard for the pro elves.
I love watching the centaurs run.
Oh yeah, so many good animations. You know, Gronk, there's still time for the college league for signups.
I don't know if I'd want to grace anybody that low with my overwhelming experience. I just wouldn't want to put somebody through that.
Oh, I'm sure. I believe this is going to be a punt attempt. Pros are going to try to free up players that they can and throw the ball as far down the field as possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, whose turn is it right now? Is it the dwarfs or the elves?
It's the elves. You can tell because they have white circles under their players.
Gotcha.
I don't know. We still have the sure hands accurate player. Able to reroll the pickup. +1 on the fumble result. And there's only one hobgoblin on the pitch that's able to deal with the ball consistently. It would take a little bit of luck, but I think that a punt here can be really good.
I'm assuming a punt is similar to a kickoff with a large variance range.
No. Punt is just you're passing, but you're throwing it at an empty square downfield to get away from the enemy.
Oh, okay.
It's a colloquial term. It's not like an official thing.
Gotcha.
Put in the Blood Stepper's hand. That's fine too. I don't hate that, especially with the reroll gone. If reroll wasn't gone, I think that punting is still better.
So did he trip on a GFI?
Yes. So he rolled a 1 on a 2+.
Yeah. Oh shit. That man's got hands.
Now, I think it's just really disappointing that the pass block Gobbo is out because it could have totally intercepted that and saved the game for the Chorfs. Like, they're just really behind without that pass block player.
Of course. You can really see how integral it is here. So I'm assuming pass block has like a range around him that can intercept or something along those lines?
Well, first of all, pass block is a terrible skill. Second of all, what pass block does is it allows your player to move up to 3 tiles to get into interception range, which means that it just generally doesn't do anything. I think this was a mistake. I think that you had to set up a 3 dice on this elf here. I think because like these players can get freed up off of Eldro pretty easily with a block. Yeah, because like if you just throw 6 dice at this player with a reroll, like you're likely to get a POW. And you have tackle.
That is one less elf, though, so something to be said there.
Down to 3 elves. I think that pass block has its place in some games, especially potentially against like elf teams. But I think that in general, it's more like having pass block is like having a fireball in your pocket. The threat of the fireball usually does more than the actual fireball. And I would say the same with pass block. But yeah, this might be a successful defense.
Is there still any chance that the elves score here?
They don't have a scoring threat. There is technically a chance, yes.
Okay, that's all I need. I was just curious.
Oh, you can use pass block to go anywhere? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's really interesting.
So you get to choose where they go off the free movement?
Yeah, you get to choose where they go with those 3 tiles of movement. I didn't know, like, so like you could go and mark a different player away from the ball. That's interesting. That's a great point, Techie. Skills can't hurt you if you don't know they're there. It's sort of like Wile E. Coyote. Just don't look down. Oh, you aren't supposed to be able to, like in tabletop, but it's a programming thing? You know, I'm just glad that we've all used the skill so much that we know the ins and outs of it.
Of course, of course.
Okay, rerolls. Honestly, on your feet is fine.
Now, I got a question for you. If you push somebody using an attack like that, do you still have to roll to get out of range of other people?
No. If you follow the attack, you don't have to roll.
Okay, that's interesting.
But what happened there was those were red dice, obviously by the color. Mm-hmm. Red dice, the opponent gets to choose the result.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's not good. That's not good for the pro elves. That is really bad for the pro elves.
What type of injury just happened?
A KO. So he's out for the drive, and he has to roll to get back in on the next one. Gotcha. On every subsequent drive until he gets back in. But yeah, Gronk is a pretty smart cookie. He picks up on things pretty quick.
You know, I haven't had a cookie in a while.
He beat you to the punchline. That's like we might see a drive with like we might see the 4 elf drive if the pros are really unlucky.
Hey, that's a score right there. That locks in the prediction. The believers were proven right.
Oh, the Chorf believers.
Chorf believers versus the Virgin Elf supporters.
Gonna switch to offense on the pro side. Pro elves are fun, but not at. I don't think they're great in the Eternal leagues. It's one of those. It's I hope that they feel better in the new Blood Bowl rules with redrafting. I've not done anything with that, but I am interested in the balance changes that they've been doing, or that I've heard of.
You're talking about Blood Bowl 3, correct?
Blood Bowl 3, but that uses the tabletop rule set for 2020. Whereas this is based off of tabletop rule set from 2016.
Gotcha.
To be fair, though the blitzers are also really good. Block sidestep at start, it's pretty good.
Are you talking about people on the Elves team, or?
Yeah, on the Elves team. So the Pro Elf blitzers start with block and sidestep, which is one level away from getting choose.
Sidestep, you get to choose the direction you go, correct? If you get knocked or away? Okay. That's what I thought it was. That's the same one that the, what's the team with like the super small units and the super big units and nothing in between?
Ogres.
Yeah, so that's the same one that the little guys in that one had, right?
Yes, that's the one that the Nobblers have.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
And it's an amazing skill. It's an amazing skill when your player doesn't just get hit and die without getting to use it. Oh no.
Okay. So
here goes another elf. Piling on.
So what does that mean? Like, what just happened?
On the kickoff table, a blitz was rolled, which means that unmarked players on the defense get to take a free turn.
Oh.
So basically, everyone but those on the line of scrimmage gets an activation. It is the worst. It is the worst result possible in most cases for the offensive team.
Looks like we're about to see some elves in a blender, I'd assume, then?
Just one. It should just be the one blitz. Like, this actually isn't the worst case scenario. The Chorfs don't get really anything off of it. Except maybe a removal, which, that's not nothing.
I forgot that they couldn't move and attack. That's a blitz action, isn't it?
Correct. No. Moving and attacking is part of the blitz, yeah. But it's like blitzing gives you the ability to move after or before taking a block. But you don't have to. We're setting up for a foul, looks like.
I can't see because of the symbol. Did that guy get knocked down in some sort?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's on the ground. It's actually kind of interesting. If I click on them, you can see that they have a down arrow when they're on the ground.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, this is the last turn of the half, correct?
It's the last turn for the Chaos Dwarves. The elves still get a turn.
Yeah, okay. That's what I just meant. It was like the last.
Yeah, the last round. If a blitz didn't happen, the dwarves wouldn't have gotten a turn at all.
Gotcha.
Whoever starts the half on defense gets the last turn.
Okay.
So from this state of the game, what sort of prediction do we think? Do you want to just see will it go to overtime? Will so and so win? I think we just go right into who will win.
And by doing that pass, he gains experience, correct, on his player?
Yes, star player points, SPP.
Yeah, I thought so.
He gets exactly 1. You get 1 SPP if you throw an accurate pass that is caught in the square you threw it to.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was that specific.
Yeah, just because you can throw an accurate pass, it get bobbled. Go to a different square and be caught there. But it can also, you can throw an accurate pass, it can bobble back, and you can catch it, and you still get the point.
Okay, stunned. He's going to be backed up for second half, correct? That's not going to have a lasting impact.
No. Stun goes away at the end of the drive.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes. To get even more specific, it has to be your own player that catches the ball.
Yeah.
Really, it's such a simple thing, but has a lot of minutia if you really need to rules lawyer it against people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the accurate pass requirement actually means so that, like, if the pass result is below what you needed to be accurate, it would have some amount of scatter. So it can't just scatter, bounce around, then go to the person you threw it at originally. That won't give you SPP.
Right. It has to be like a quote-unquote successful throw.
Yes, correct.
It can't just be like random happenstance. I gotcha. Similar to calling your shot in pool. Like, if you just bounce around 18 times and go in a random pocket, it's not going to count. But if you call it beforehand, it makes a lot more sense.
Absolutely. Actually have only 1 elf missing. Might be able to pull a point here, but it will be very difficult. Especially because all of the dwarves came back, including the pass block agility 5.
Don't you worry. I'll leave it out these predictions a little bit. I'm an elf believer. Let's go. You gotta have faith, guys.
I have faith that some of these elves aren't going to make it past this drive.
I think that's a reasonable thing to believe.
And honestly, this is just sort of the way that elf versus bash goes. Sometimes you just get removed, your entire team gets removed, and there's not much you can do about it.
So this is like the opposite of the other event, isn't it? Where these guys get an extra turn?
Sort of. But in this case, the offense only gets to move 1 square. But they don't have to make dodge rolls. So they don't have to make any rolls to take the movement.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a little mini turn. Just some extra
a little bit. It's actually, in some cases, it's better than blitzes. Just because you don't have to make a dodge.
And then it goes immediately into their turn. So they're allowed to then have their regular turn without the dodging required to get away from the line of scrimmage.
Yes, which is what they did right there.
Yeah, I see that.
But you don't have to roll nega traits. So like the ogre teams where they have all the ogres that have bonehead, they don't have to roll to activate.
That's very
Vampires don't
interesting.
have to roll to see if they eat somebody. Like, it's actually a really, really good event.
Can they take any action besides one movement, or is it just the one
It
movement?
is just one tile of movement.
Okay. I didn't know like they could attack without having to bonehead or something like that. Are we gonna?
I would love to see a Daka here. I think that's a decent play. But then again, if you Daka, the Chaos Dwarves are just going to stand back. Like, they don't have to come and get the ball at all.
What is a Daka?
A Daka, the Daka offense is where you pull back all of your players and force the enemy to come into your half. And when they do, you run around them because you're faster than them.
I gotcha.
I think it's got some merits to it, but it's pretty situational in my book.
I'm assuming that's also countered by the fact that they don't have to move.
Yeah, so if your opponent is ahead of you or they don't care about drawing, it doesn't work.
And in this case, he has a point up on him, so...
And if the enemy team has all 11 of their players and you're down players, they can just have a well-constructed wall, and it's very hard to get past. Because if somebody ever doctors against you, you just play slow.
The Centaurs do actually also, I would assume, make a big impact on that, like Luke's saying.
Absolutely.
Because he has some high mobility.
The high mobility and the extra strength.
Yeah, and just the number of players up on him is a factor, of course. Oh, no. Okay. I thought he... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, the match is basically over. We're just sticking around, seeing if anything interesting happens. Because elves can still pull magic with good dice, but we're already down 4 players for the pro elves. We have no wizard. Eldril's a decent star player, but he's much better on defense than offense, from what I understand. But also, all the good players are out. The Blood Step Blitzer, Guard Piece, Thrower, Agility 5 Raj. What do we have? We have a lineman, kicker, dodge.
I'm just saying, if you only have faith in the elves during the good times, that's not real faith. I believe. Let's go. It's in your darkest moments that your faith is proven. So he just got sent out for a foul, I'm assuming?
Yes. If you roll doubles on the armor or the injury part of a foul, you get sent off. Unless you have a bribe. Is Eldro good on offense? I haven't really seen him much. I was just assuming you treat him like a vampire. Well, he does have catch and he does have guard. Or dodge. But like I think against the dwarves that have tackle on every piece except the hobgoblins, he's basically just got hypno gaze. And catch.
Practical, I'm going to be honest, dealing with Blood Bowl, I don't know if you're talking about removing faces or like standing against a removal. What is face removals referring to? Like, is that the name of a foul or something? I'm not joking.
I love like you're not able to. You're usually able to decipher the Blood Bowl language. But, like, in against some generic sounding your term, you're not sure if it's something specific or if it's a meme.
I know. I like it. I've made too many assumptions about some of these terms and been wrong. Now I'm starting to question the basic ones.
You've got most of the hard ones. I've been pretty impressed.
Well, yeah, because those are pretty out there. Like, some of the normaler ones are like, they're right on that line where I'm not sure.
Okay. That's interesting. Brings the guard in. Marks the hobgoblin with guard. takes the hit against the Chorf blocker.
Seemed to have paid off there.
I
don't know. That
Actually
seemed
have
like a
decent
pretty good
positioning.
turn. I would say that seemed like a really good turn overall.
Yeah, this is actually this is pretty solid. And if this is a stun or a removal, it's massive. Armor 7 too strong for the Hobgoblins though.
I'll be honest, I was mostly joking when I had all the confidence in the elves, but they're actually putting up a fight here.
Oh yeah. And Toast is a really good elf player. I've seen several of his other games. Mind you, most of the other games I saw were against other agility teams, so it was much more impressive. Whereas against Bash, it's mostly just, okay, here comes the one hit per turn, let's hope they don't die. Ah, shit, it's removal.
I'd say I think I remember seeing you play some like rat-based team that had a similar high mobility
Yes, Skaven.
impact game. Skaven, yeah.
Yeah, Skaven are this on steroids. They have higher movement and a lot less strength and a lot. They're agility steroids. That's what they are.
So he is still going to have to find a way to squeeze through some of them because I'm assuming they're going to have enough mobility to corner him off still. So he's going to have to find a line.
Now, there is something interesting going on here where, like, for a couple turns, these 4 Chorfs are going to not be super relevant to most of the play. So by using their superior mobility now, they have a couple turn window where they might be able to pull off a score for an equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
But that requires good dice and solid play.
Right.
Basically, the elves have to throw dice because they're so behind anyways.
Right. They were already going to lose. It's a matter of trying to make it happen. So unless they go for it, there's no reason. There's no way they win. So there's no point not going for a bold play.
They had to rely on high rolling some of these actions.
Yeah.
And on top of that, positioning well. Position well, high roll, and you might be able to pull out overtime. Might.
Now, can you move a player after it gets the ball? Like is thrown it? Or something like that?
You cannot move after throwing or handing off the ball. But you can move after receiving the ball.
Okay. And can you move twice? Like, can you move, then get it, and then move? Or is it each player actions one at a time?
If you're ever activated, and then you activate another player, the first player is done for the entire turn.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it's more players have activations, not movement phases, block phases.
Yeah.
So you had to do all your stuff with that player at the same time.
I gotcha.
Okay, the window of opportunity will probably be gone next turn. It might be gone this turn. Unless sidestep magic. But this could just be 9 dice thrown at a problem, or 6 dice thrown at a problem.
And remind me again, what is the skull with a little explosion-y symbol there?
That is both down.
That's both down, okay.
The reroll for that, I believe, was so that you don't get the sidestep to this position and potentially open up to a blitz and a run-through. I actually think I would have also rerolled that.
Why would a blitz be relevant for the run-through there?
On the next turn for the elves, like if this catcher was in this square, we could see some sort of elf blitzes this unit, The pro elf dodges through,
Gotcha.
and then you pass the ball to them.
I gotcha.
Pow comes through to create a hole.
Now, is it typical to have this many rerolls left in the second half?
With this much TV, yes. I would say.
Okay.
Especially when this is an overtime format, which is a little different. Mm-hmm. Usually, if you have the same score at the end of the half, the game is over. It's a tie. In knockout tournaments, though, it goes to a third half overtime, and only rerolls from the second half are used. So if you're out of rerolls and you go to overtime, you have 0 rerolls.
Right. That makes sense. Now, is running and throwing the ball possible?
Yes, you can move and then
like a blitz option. Okay.
But if you blitz, you cannot throw or handoff. Handoff is sort of like a pass, but only you don't throw a pass roll. You just roll for catching, and it has to be in the square next to you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you can hand off and pass in the same turn. That's how some teams can go from like ball way back in your own end zone all the way to the enemy end zone.
I've seen what is it, dwarves with their like chaining it along 4 people in a magical way.
Yeah, I believe I've seen that. One of Alter Sage's videos that I sent you.
Yeah.
Absolutely glorious. But this is very well done, finding the hole.
Oh wow, he really just ran that whole way.
Yeah, he just took 1 dodge to get there.
The length of the movement was impressive.
Yep. He's got 8 squares of movement. It's pretty nutty. He actually can move 1 square further than the bull centaurs if he takes both GFIs.
I see that. So, however, he does still have to potentially deal with the other people catching back up to him and preventing him from
yeah, like the bull centaurs are still in range.
Mm-hmm. But that's with GFIs, correct?
Yes, but bull centaurs have a skill that allows them to re-roll a GFI once per turn.
Oh, okay.
So they have like one designated reroll, and then they can use a team reroll on a separate GFI.
Gotcha. Sorry. So when you GFI, is it for each space or
each square? You had to roll a 2+ roll.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
And you can only reroll any dice roll once, but you can reroll multiple things with skills and team rerolls in a turn. But 1 team reroll per turn. So, like these bull centaurs, they have sure feet. If they failed a GFI, then succeeded on the reroll, and then failed the next one, they could use a team reroll. But if they double won, nothing. Ball is free. Toast is still playing elves. Still able to pull off some magic here. Multiple players in scoring range.
Doesn't look like Chorfs are going to be able to pick it up, though, so that gives a better chance for him, doesn't it?
There is a chance that the Chorfs pick it up. They still have a Hobgoblin over here that's agility 4.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was in range. I gotcha.
Yeah.
But he would also have to get...
4, 5,
he would also have to dodge away, right?
Yeah, he would have to take a dodge or 2 dodges and some GFIs. Like, he has to roll dice to get there, and then he has to roll dice to pick it up.
Or, well, I guess he could also attack him with it. Or does he still have Blitz? I don't know how to tell that.
Okay. the only way to tell if a blitz has been used is if the electricity symbol is over a player.
I gotcha.
And sometimes in the viewer, like the spectator, it bugs and you can't even see that. So sometimes you just forget that it's already been used.
Okay, fair enough. Ooh, so
That's one.
That's good for the elves.
Now what we might see here is Hypno Gaze. Go for pickup, go for score. Hypnotic Gaze works. So this player has no tackle zones. Does not apply any pressure onto the ball or anything. And now it's a 2+2+ to score. With a reroll.
As in 2 separate 2+s?
Yes. 2+. 2+ for the score.
I told you guys, elf believers in chat. Let's go.
No. They haven't won yet. They still have to either get to overtime or score a second time.
I'm just saying, there's some good things happening here for the elves.
That was
really well
definitely done. A lot of opportunity creation on Toast's part. And a little bit of lucky dice. But this is why Toast has made it to semifinals.
So because they're going into overtime, I'm assuming, or sorry, not. Because he scored, they're doing a kickoff again, so he got another player up, is what just happened.
Yes, that is exactly what happened.
Okay. I didn't think about that in terms of, okay, that's really cool.
Oh, absolutely, Luke. I think that even if Toast loses this game, this is already a very commendable effort. I think he's already proved himself as a very good elf coach.
So I don't remember the format you said we're in. So if he loses here, are they out like completely?
Yes. They're knocked out of the bracket.
Okay.
Oh, that's really good for the elves.
Oh, so that makes it's higher chances we're going to get to overtime here because there's a less turn, right?
Yes.
One less turn. Okay.
So a riot, when it's rolled, if it's the first turn in a drive, it's always lose a turn. If it's the last turn in a drive, it's always both teams gain a turn. Everything else is a 50-50.
Oh. Okay.
But that's the elves have to stall for. They had to stall for 5 turns. Now they have to stall for 4. So that's actually really good for them.
Right.
Because the chaos dwarf's main thing is that they need to gain squares, which is usually what they struggle with if they don't get removals. Mm-hmm. But they've already gotten removals. So this is still going to be very difficult.
Elves also have the reroll advantage by a considerable margin here.
Yes. So if this goes to overtime, elves might be slightly favored, just from the reroll perspective.
Or the rerolls could potentially allow them to have a better chance of going to overtime as well.
Yes, that as well. And the way that Rebbl overtime works is, so for overtime, a coin is flipped to determine who gets to pick offense or defense.
Mm-hmm.
If you start on offense, you have to score or you lose the game. If you start on defense, you either have to score or prevent the score.
Okay. And is it going to be an 8-turn like the other?
Yes, another 8-turn, yes.
So that was a KO, correct?
Correct. So might come back. The elves have had a +1 on KO rolls the entire game. The Chaos Dwarves don't have ball in hand. 3 more turns to get it in hand and get into the end zone.
Taking out a considerable number of them, though.
Yep. Toast had 6 elves in a dream. I'm going to switch over to the
more
other
elves than when he
view.
scored, I'm pretty sure, so... You're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to dip out for just a moment. I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Now, Kyram is still in a very good position. He's still got a massive player advantage. He's still got 3 turns to score. If you pick it up on the Hobgoblin, you basically have to sprint down the field. And you can get it in without a GFI, I believe. Let's see, that's 6, 7. Actually, 20 squares. So that's 2 GFIs. Yeah, Techie, you got it. So 2 GFIs if the Hobgoblin gets it. Similar amount, but with sure feet if you try to pick it up with the bull, but that would probably require a reroll to pick up. It's 20 squares to the end zone, so it's 2 GFIs. Ball is up. No, that is 3 because you had to move left to pick up the ball. You're right. Now, I'm interested to see if I almost think that you send one of the bulls for scoring threat. And I'm not sure if you use this reroll unless it guarantees the score. Chorf's looking for a removal. This elf might get fouled even. Yeah, it's probably a dirty player. Oh yeah, especially if the reroll gets blown, the pro elves are still in this game. They are definitely a threat. Their agility 5 piece is available. Hope for a removal. That's an injury. That's 1 less elf. No doubles. Hobgoblin gets to stay on the field. Looking at maximum of 7 elves on the pitch in overtime if it gets there. Absolutely, Techie. We need to see either 1 GF5 from the Hobgoblin, or Bull Centaur needs to get into scoring range. Or the other Hobgoblin needs to get into scoring range for a handoff. Yeah, ideally both. Multiple outs is better. The 1 deep elf screen is coming in. It's a really hard call. I think like if the handoff secures the game, it's a real, you could argue either way because it's a 50% chance win the game now, not have to worry about overtime with 1 reroll. 50% chance going to overtime with 0 rerolls against pro elves who just had to get 1 lucky string of dice and they win the game. Yeah, elf screen is a very generous description of this defense, isn't it?
And I am back. Have I missed anything vital?
You missed another injury, and you've just came back to a KO. So we might have a 4 elf overtime. if it gets there. And we were just talking about the logistics of, do you use the reroll on a 50-50 to win the game now versus going into overtime with one reroll?
Yeah, I heard that part. I can definitely see merit in.
For a second, I thought this Chorf blocker was on the way. It's actually really hard to get the defenders forward. It's not really about the ball at this point. Okay. That should be a scoring position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Bull in scoring position.
Now you just have to get the ball too, I'm assuming then.
Now, what's going on here is multiple outs are being created. So this is a scoring threat. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not a scoring threat. This Hobgoblin is coming up to be a scoring threat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 GFI scoring threat with a handoff. And then this Hobgoblin needs to take a GFI to be a scoring threat.
Okay.
Yep. So this has covered the failure states, multiple failure states. Dice are cooperating, no ones. And now you almost have to take a play as the elves, right? Because if you don't take a play, then this gets very awkward. So you either have to bring the sidestepper up, you have to maybe look for a sack, just mark all the players and force dodges and blitzes. I don't know, it's very hard. I don't think you can just mark the Bull Centaur. He's got break tackle. He will get away.
I'm assuming break tackle gives you a roll if you get tackled.
No, break tackle actually makes your dodge roll a strength roll instead of an agility roll if you fail the dodge roll.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's actually no tackle here, so you can actually dodge into here with Agi 5, go for the sack. You could go for the Eldril Hypnogaze as well, but I think it's going to be red dice anyways. Oh, you're right. Hypnogaze failure? That's sad. That would have made the dodge easier. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's massive. I meant the Hypnogaze was a massive failure. Like, it was sad. And bring up tackle zones and hope the GFIs fail. So, 2 GFIs with a reroll is about a 90-something% chance to work. This forces either a blitz or a handoff or a dodge. Toast is really hoping for some unfortunate dice for the Chaos Dwarves. Ooh, a chain push, actually. and you get rid of the screen as well if it's successful. Yeah, that's very well done. Two GFIs with a reroll to win the game.
Pretty good for the Chorfs there.
Uh-oh. And he gets it. That was almost very interesting there.
Wait, how did you know you got it so fast? I'm confused.
What do you mean?
Oh, I accidentally started watching on the Twitch screen instead of the Discord screen, so I was behind a little bit. I was sitting here really confused.
How'd you know? What was the tell?
Right when he did the reroll, you were like, and he gets it, and I'm like, huh? I was like,
oh, that's really funny. That was an exciting game. Actually, a lot closer than I was expecting after the first half, after the first drive.
Yeah, for sure.
Gonna take a look at some statistics real quick. Oh yeah, that was very well played by both of them. And Toast Guy put up a very good comeback attempt. Almost went to overtime. Could have had a chance at the win in overtime. But the first drive was just too brutal on removals. Let's see. Dodges, good pickups. GFIs worked. Armor bad. The injuries were so bad. But that was also piling on. Oh, yep. Choosing outcome.
Thought the elf believers almost had it for a moment.
Hypnogaze worked. Oh yeah, that would have been an amazing upset.
That would have been incredible.
The Chaos Dwarfs failed 1 out of 24 GFIs. Hold up. That's insane. That should have been at least a reroll, I think. So they didn't have to spend any rerolls on GFIs.
It is pretty interesting.
I don't think oh yeah, you're right. Those were actually without dodge because all the tackle. 24 GFIs in the game is really nuts. Mind you, a lot of those would have just been bull centaurs with sure feet. If they fail a GFI, you just don't take anymore. But I think a good portion of them were just hobgoblins, I think. Well, yeah, but, you know, if one fails on a bull, you take just less GFIs in general. But the fact that they never failed or used the reroll, crazy. Because that's still one failure in 24 is you expect at least a couple more of those to fail. And by that, I mean you just expect to see less successes and about the same amount of failures. Still nuts. But it's a great match. Congratulations to the Demented Distillers. Do you have anything else to add?
No, it was fun casting with you, though.
Oh yeah, it was great to bring your knowledge base into it and grace us with your wisdom.
Like a teaspoon in a swimming pool.
There's a Rebbl stream going on for Greenhorn. I'm gonna send people over to that.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Name is Popsicle _ MP. Oh. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for chatting. Okay, that I did the raid wrong. Oh.
It happens. It happens. Here, I'll give you a parting gift, by the way.
I think you're funny.
I think I'm fucking hilarious.
All right. Y'all have a good one. All right, and we're off.
Okay, good. You wanna hop back in the other chat zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Oh, I had a blast. I had no idea what the fuck was happening, but it was fun. That's a lie. I could pick up better than I was playing it off what was happening, but it's also still fun.
You know, honestly, and the thing is about casting is like that was the sort of game where there's so much downtime, and you kind of picked up on that pretty well. Like, there's a lot of downtime. Like, you can ask about specifics here and here.
Right.
Because that's the sort of game where it's like, oh, the Chorfs are gonna go for removals for the 16th turn in a row.
Mm-hmm. And I can like casting, like, number one thing is you don't want a whole lot of dead air. Keep it going. Move on to
that's the type of game where
topic.
if you weren't asking Blood Bowl stuff, we would have talked about unrelated stuff, like our friend Ben, who's Lord Strackhoff, and you get their name looks like the other guys.
Also, I had a couple like softly formed jokes in my head. I hope you enjoyed the size doesn't matter one.
that was great. I loved it. But now the dude who rated was seeing if asked before, like during the countdown, if I had a co-caster, and I was like, I told John 2 hours ago he can co-cast with me if nobody else claims it. It's like 2 minutes before, like, yeah, I got a co-caster.
Oh man, that would have been fine. I wouldn't have minded. I would have.
Oh yeah, I know you wouldn't have, but I was excited to cast with you. I thought it was gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's fair. Now,
and it's like,
if that happens in the future, I'm down to cast with you again. And if somebody comes last minute, you can pop them in too. Would be fine with me.
Yeah. But it was just one of those things. Like, it's been on the Google sheet that I'm casting this game for like 4 days, and nobody's contacted me at all.
Yeah.
So I've decided on bringing in somebody else.
No, that is funny. I was like, how did you know that already? What? Looking at fucking Twitch instead on accident. Fucking lost it. So funny. Also, it's kind of funny because I realized I didn't talk much at the beginning because I was panicking because I realized I didn't have the chat up, and I had to, and I'm on a different computer, so I had to figure out my sign in and everything. So like I was trying to banter while like being like, "Fuck is my password?" It was kind of funny. Also, it's a very satisfying thing, but it's also, man, it takes a lot of energy to keep up that like persona and like keep the conversation in a spectator mode, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like keeping the flow intentionally solid. All right, I'm gonna go give everybody the all clear so they know I'm done. I'll be right back.
advice for the budding coach then, Bob?
Yeah, always wear underpants, because you never know who might be looking. Some of these cameras work both ways. Nice shirt, by the way.
you a great